Hi guys, I'm here today with Monse from New Delhi. Monse will be co-organizer for Startup Europe Week in New Delhi, India next year. It's great because clearly we were talking before this conversation that the importance of spreading the word of basic entrepreneurship around the world. And I think that's true in Europe, that's true in Latin America, and that's definitely true in India. So Monse, thanks a lot for being with me. And then if you can share some of your thoughts on what's happening in New Delhi and what CU can bring, it would be great to hear from you.
First of all, thank you, Igor. Thank you to your team for having me on the call. It's an absolute pleasure and honor to be here. In terms of what's happening in India right now, there are quite a few things which are panning out. So if you look at the next decade in terms of the population growth, which India is poised for, India is going to have something called the demographic dividend, which basically means that India will have the youngest working population in the world. Now, this can be a great thing if channeled correctly, and it can also be a cause for chaos if it's not, if the energy and the resources are not deployed effectively. So, if you look at the kind of things which we can expect to make happen, when you're looking at advent of something like artificial intelligence, when you're looking at something like employment going down, some hope in terms of how the energy can be channelized to create greater growth, not just in India but across the world. I would, being from a bit of an entrepreneurial background and having had the honor of working with some of the incredible entrepreneurs across the world, I would definitely see entrepreneurship as one of the channels wherein we can channel some of that energy, make a couple of good things happen, not just for India, but for the world as well. And that's something which I am particularly passionate about. I do understand that a lot of the kids are the next gen, and the kids are especially blessed. Almost all the kids are like super bright, but the education system and then all the other things basically the system dumps them down. So we do have a couple of initiatives going on in New Delhi at the state level where the governments they have something. It's an absolute honor to see them working on this. So you have 16 lakh kids, that's 1.6 million kids have something called the entrepreneurship curriculum. So the state government is working in New Delhi on such a concept. At the same time, we do have some initiatives from the central government which are also focused on helping more and more startups across the country. So I also, working along with other leaders and initiatives such as yours, would see how I can be helpful in terms of getting some of the thoughts across, some of the ideas across, and see how we can, just serve, just one more person out there if they were to think about the entrepreneurial route, how they can probably have a better shot at achieving some of the things. And in terms of what we can try to make happen over in Delhi is obviously host some of the good leaders who are known for their expertise and the accomplishments. Just come and talk about some of the things which have helped them and which would be helpful to anyone who would be starting up across India. So that's something. I'm not doing this alone. I do have a friend who is joining me on this journey in India, Apur Bamba. So I and Apur would be looking at grouping in some of the good leaders locally within Delhi, just to ensure that we're able to respect everyone's schedule and time, and host them for a couple of initiatives and events where we can have that kind of frank conversation as to what goes into building a company, what the opportunities are, what the world shifts are, so that ventures don't spend say 3 to 5 years working on something which might be just made redundant with technology which is just a feature for someone else.
Right.
So just helping put a few thoughts out there, and obviously a lot of us are super accessible. So hopefully just put the word out there and see how we can help just one more entrepreneur out there.
And that's it, right? I mean, when we started the Startup Europe Week movement in a very bottoms-up way, it was exactly this view of just bringing the basic stuff and putting people together locally, just to talk about what are the basics that you have locally that is going to help you to get started, because that's the most important thing, just to get started. And we get started in our neighborhood. Sometimes people think, oh, I'm going to get started in a country or in this continent. No. You get started in your house, in your neighborhood, in your city at large. In a huge city like New Delhi, it's a world by itself. So I think that's the message, and we're super pumped by bringing CU to New Delhi next year with you and your partners locally. So I don't know if you have any final message, Mose, to share with the entrepreneurs, in other regions around the world.
All I would say is that the human potential is untapped. I mean, whatever limits you place on yourself are, from within your own mind. And there's no one way to realize, what your potential is. Entrepreneurship is one way to do it. But all of us are meant to be way much more than what we initially think of ourselves and, what the world tells us. So my hope is, I mean, whoever is listening to this, they would be able to channel some of the potential that they have inside. And once again, I'm super grateful. I'm super thankful to you, Igor, and your team for giving us the opportunity to bring this to India, and just look forward to make greater things happen for the world.
Great. Mose, thanks a lot for being here with me. I mean, of course, we're going to share more info about SEO in the upcoming weeks, and of course, specifically about New Delhi in the upcoming months. But thanks a lot for being with me, and I hope for a great Startup Europe Week New Delhi next year.
Absolutely, Igor. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take care.